Thanks for joining Sales with Suli, a mom of three who spent the last 12 summers knocking doors. Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things women, the ups and downs of my journey, and what it takes to find success on and off the doors. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome back, friends. Something that I want to talk about today, I definitely have a lot of you guys who have just reached out via messages on how is it that I'm able to sustain like a constant, or how is it that I'm able to just have be in the right mindset while I'm on the doors, like on a regular basis. Like having been in the door-to-door industry for the last 13 years, how is it that I've been able to just continue doing the things that I'm doing now? And it's definitely still a little bit tricky for me for sure, but the concept that I definitely want to take the time to talk about and kind of share today is the concept of critical thinking. And for today's episode and for its purposes, I kind of want to talk about three types or three levels of thinking and just a concept that we need to remove so that we can find a little bit more success mentally and emotionally while we're on the doors. So the three types of critical thinking is going to be negative thinking, positive thinking, and then critical thinking. The way that I define negative thinking, it's emotionally charged. Negative thinking is going to cause someone to be able to make a super weak decision. Like how many times, either after a breakup or after we've stepped on the scale and we're not where we're at, or had a 0 day, or just had a bad area, or someone just kind of just have a rough day and actually take it out on us, that we turned around and made our day even worse because we took that negative energy, we took that negative mindset, we were emotionally charged, we allowed ourselves to be a little bit weak, so we just made weaker negative decisions. An example of this for me while I was on the doors, way back my early years when I was just naive and just naive. I was definitely having a rough morning and just in an area where it was just super tough. It was just no's after no's. And I remember knocking this door where it had a no soliciting, and I was just super bold. I just never cared about signs or just people. I just didn't think about a lot of people's emotions. And this guy had just come out so upset, couldn't you read the sign? You know how they are, as if we already don't know that we didn't read the sign. And, me just being a smart ass, I going on with my pitch and just trying to get the sale. I was at the point in my career where it was just I didn't care. I was going to sell anyone who opened their door. They were going to buy from me. And back in the day when I was knocking, those years, we actually had clipboards and we had paper contracts, if you can believe it or not. And so right now, people have sales rabbits, or their company has apps where you can just tap and keep track of the doors that you've knocked, sold, comebacks, and different things like that. But back then we kept chalk. And so I always had tons of chalk in my car and I had them in my pocket. So after this guy yelled at me, I was already in an emotionally weak mindset because I let it get to me. And as opposed to just walking my little behind to the next door and knocking, I wait till he goes inside. I go to the end of his driveway as I'm walking to the next door, and I write all these profane things and this is me being smart because his someone's driveway is right here, and technically it's not his property because I'm over here riding on the sidewalk, so it's technically city property. At the end of the day, none of those technicalities mattered because he ended up saying all these horrible things about the company, which my negative thinking that very moment was a reflection of me and not the company that I was knocking for at the time. And so as I'm sitting here and laughing at how I had allowed the negative emotions and the negative thoughts to then not make the day any better. Like, how often are you sitting with someone who's complaining? How often do you sit with someone who compares themselves to you or Angelina Jolie or their team leader or whoever? Like, how much energy are we allowing ourselves, like, negatively to just to like, how much space are we giving to it? Like, how much time are we wasting by doing that? Okay. And so negative thinking, definitely something we want to learn. It's still tricky, but it's a learned concept that we kind of want to try not doing. And then there's going to be positive thinking, just the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's just like rah rah shish kumbah. Like, there's going to be a ton of us in the door-to-door space where it's just like the only way that we can find success is if someone's patting us on our backs, as if someone's holding our hands, as, listening to those hype music, listening to those hype podcasts, listening to those people who are just like constantly like rooting us on throughout the day. That's still using like emotions. We are still allowing it to where it's like we either need to be truly happy or truly negative to be able to go throughout the day. And I kind of want to get away from that. Well, the concept that I'm trying to teach is getting away from that. I've noticed pretty much in the last 3 years, like once I understood the concept to think critically, and thinking critically is basically defined as the highest level of thinking. This type of thinking removes emotion from every aspect of a decision, which helps an individual make logical decisions. And a lot of times we forget that there is an in-between, that it's not just about thinking like super negatively or allowing our negative days or our negative emotions to carry on, or allowing our results, allowing our sales numbers, or allowing other people's success to be able to keep us down or keep us up. I know for me, as I just take the emotion out of it and just think back to the things that I can control. That's what I want to take a couple of minutes to do. Some of the things that I know that I can truly control every single day of the summer is what time I'm going to bed. What time am I waking up every single morning? What is it that I'm studying and for how long? Am I writing out my pitch? Am I truly taking time to role play with myself? What time am I arriving to my morning meeting? What kind of mindset am I taking to be able to pass on to those around me? What time am I getting to my first door? I can control that. I can control when I'm going to be knocking my first door. I can control how little or how long of a lunch that I'm going to be taking. I can control the number of doors. I can control my attitude. I can control the way that I react. What I can't control is what a customer is going to say when they come and open the door. I can't control the emotions or the thoughts of like my car partner. I can't control what the sales numbers are going to be at the end of the week. But I know that as I logically and critically just focus on the little things that I can control on a regular basis, the numbers will come, the sales will come, the success will come. But you gotta take the time to stop the comparison. You gotta take the time to stop me versus so-and-so. We create that dynamic so much in this industry that we forget to take a step back and be a little bit logical with ourselves. Like, how often do you find yourself giving your car partner or giving your team leader or giving your friend or your sister or whoever advice on like, just stop being like so emotional? And I know a lot of times it's why team leaders probably don't want to recruit women, or people are a little afraid to approach female reps because we get concerned about their reactions or about their emotions. But what we also don't realize is how much strength and how much stronger like us as female reps are, because we do have emotions. We know when to hone them in. We know when to put them aside. We know when we need to use them. But when it comes to being super successful, when it comes to being able to attain the goals that you're wanting to attain in the door-to-door space, logic and reason needs to come first, emotion second. And for my call to action this week, I want you guys to just take the time to focus on that this week. What are some of the things that you're doing to yourself mentally or to your car partners that's going to negatively or positively affect them? Let's focus on the little things that we can control so that we can be logical thinkers on and off the doors.
Thanks for taking the time to tune in. If I've added any kind of value to your thoughts on knocking doors, please share this podcast with another female rep. Until next time, know that you are capable, you are valued, and most importantly, you are enough.